First off, ADD and ADHD is a gift. It is an evolutionary trait. It is not a mental illness, nor is it a curse, but it can be if you don't know what you're working with. All right, now let me throw a little disclaimer before I start this video, because I want you guys to know this is my personal experience. These are things that I've tested and I've proven from my own experience. By no means am I saying that this is 100% the truth. You know, you guys test it out yourselves and see if it's the truth for you. Neglect it, I really don't care. I'm just here sharing my experience. And let me just say that not everything that I say is proven by science. Because if everything was proven by science, then a lot of people would lose a lot of money, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, medication, treatment, all right? Costs a lot more to treat someone than it does to heal someone. But with that being said, getting into the video, if I look down, it's because I'm reading some stuff. First off, what is ADD? What is ADHD? In simple terminologies, it's just having a hard time being able to focus. It doesn't mean that these people can't focus. It just means that they have a hard time focusing on something. They have to be really interested in something for them to be able to focus in on something. All right, and then the big thing is that one end of the spectrum is hyperactive and the other end of the spectrum, they're pretty much like zombies. And this all happens when they become overstimulated. All right, when they have way too much going on in their lives, too much things coming their way, they become overstimulated. One becomes a zombie, one becomes a squirrel. It is what it is. But the beautiful thing about people with ADD, ADHD, we can hyperfocus. All right, hyperfocus is exactly as the name implies. It just means that you're zoned in on something. You could be doing it all day long. You could not eat, you could not hear from anyone, you could not respond to anyone, you could not do anything but that thing. The entire day could pass by. It could be 4 in the morning, and by the time you realize it, it'll only feel like a few minutes have passed by because you were zoned in, you were hyper-focused. It's not just people with ADD and ADHD that can hyper-focus. Everybody can hyper-focus to an extent, but the thing that separates people that have ADD and ADHD from someone who doesn't have ADD and ADHD is the ability to hyper-focus under high-pressure situations or high-risk situations. Now again, everybody has the ability to do so. All right? You push anyone to the edge, the primitive side's gonna come out, right? The animal's gonna come out. They're gonna fight for their lives. They're gonna do what they have to do to survive. But here's the thing that I've come to realize over time, all right? As a person with ADD, ADHD, throughout my entire time at school, I had a hard time. Hard time focusing, hard time making friends, hard time keeping friends, hard time keeping my grades up, because when I was in class, I couldn't really focus on what was being said. And whenever I had to do homework, I never really did it because it's like my brain just couldn't focus. I didn't see reason to focus, and I just couldn't focus on it. Except for when it was a deadline. And with school, there's always a deadline. They tell you, oh, we got a test next Friday. We have this project due on Wednesday. They always have deadlines in school. So I would wait until the very end. I would procrastinate. Anyone who has ADD, ADHD will know that when you procrastinate, it puts you in a very high pressure situation where you have to do it or you fail. Right? And that makes you hyper focused. And that was really the only way that I was able to get past school. That was the only way that I was able to get decent grades, go to college, get decent grades in college, and keep going from there. All right, but at the end of the day, you know, I always saw this as a curse. I saw it as like, oh man, like I'm not smart. I saw it as I'm not intelligent. I can't do things that other people do. So then I started taking the medication. I started taking Vyvanse. I started taking Adderall. I started taking Ritalin. And these things, even though they allowed me the ability to focus, I'm not gonna say hyperfocus because hyperfocus is another level. They allow me the ability to focus on anything that I really wanted to focus on. But at the same time, they had a lot of side effects. They put me in this zombied out state, you know, where I didn't really have my personality. It made me not want to communicate at all with most people. And it always gave me a headache, made me lose a lot of weight, had issues with my stomach because of the pill, or the pills I should say, because I was trying all the different kinds. Let's just say that I thought it was a curse. I thought it was a mental illness. I thought it was something that I was gonna be, I don't know, I thought I was gonna be haunted with it for the rest of my life, to be honest with you guys. And it wasn't until I realized that whenever I got into high pressure situations, I was able to pretty much be more present, more hyper focused than most people would be. Now, I'm not saying that someone who has ADD, ADHD in a high pressure situation will be superior to another person. I'm just saying that this is an evolutionary trait. All right, think about this. Our bodies are still primitive. Even though we live in this day and age, even though our minds have created amazing things, our bodies are still way back in the hunter-gatherer times. It is what it is. All right, and if we're talking about the hunter-gatherer times, think about back then. Think if you had a tribe and you had, let's say, 4 or 5, 6 people with you, and you guys were going to hunt an animal. If you found an animal and you're running after this animal, or let's say vice versa, let's say an animal found you, right? Let's say a lion or a tiger or a black panther found you and the people you were with. Would being able to be hyper-focused in this super high pressure situation be something that would let you survive and let you live? Or would it be something that's like, it could help, but it could also not help, right? In my opinion, it's something that would allow you to survive. It's something that would allow you to keep going, right? And because of that, it became an evolutionary trait, something that was passed on. So, you know, like I said, this is theoretical, man. This is not proven. I can't really prove this. I can only prove it on my own anecdotal accord and through my own experience and everything. But imagine throughout time, people are passing this trait on, and it's just being more and more and more pronounced. It's just becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, making the future generations of hunters quicker, able to react way quicker, able to just respond and do things in a level that maybe other generations that were doing the same thing may have not been able to do it. I mean, on a side note, look at athletes. You know, athletes nowadays are able to do things that athletes before weren't able to do. Why? It's evolutionary traits. It's just the body adapting and evolving and passing that on when you procreate. But anyways, getting back to the topic here. Let's say that this happened. Let's say that people started to pass this trait on and it became this evolutionary trait that obviously it helped not only yourself, but the tribe that you were with survive. But if you fast forward to where we are today, how is it going to help you today? Think about your work. Think about the school. Think about your lifestyle. Think about your phone and the computer and music and TV and all these stimulations, these things that we have bombarding us all day long. All right, we don't live in that life anymore. Even though our bodies are still geared for that primitive lifestyle, we do not live there anymore. Therefore, it's almost seen as a curse. It's almost seen as a mental illness. But is it really? Right? That's what I'm trying to get at here. It's not a mental illness. It's not a curse. It's only that way if you don't know what you're working with. All right? If you know right now that what you have is not an illness, you don't have anything wrong with you. Instead, you actually have a blessing. You actually have something that can help you out. It's all about transitioning your life to be aligned with that blessing, with that gift. All right? Understand people that have ADD and ADHD function amazingly under high pressure, high risk situations. So it's up to you to shift your life in that direction if you have ADD, ADHD. All right, now, in what direction you want to shift it in, that's up to you. All right, that's up to you. Because I'm not here saying that, oh man, you do this in your life, you do this in your life and you're going to be free of it. You're not going to have it anymore. I'm not going to tell you, hey, meditate and you'll never have ADD, ADHD again. Because I've done that. I've meditated. I still meditate to this day. It helps, but I still have it. I still have ADD, ADHD. The only thing that has allowed me to basically convert it from a curse to a blessing is seeing that, one, it wasn't a bad thing. Two, whenever I'm in a high pressure situation, I awaken. It's like the primitive animal inside me wakes up, and I have this edge, and I'm at this level that is not comparable, to be honest. I found that out. Now I'm fighting. I do martial arts. For me, that puts me in a very high pressure situation, but that's not for everyone. All right, someone else might be a stockbroker. Someone else might be a salesman. Someone else might be a musician, and they might put themselves in these high pressure situations where it forces them to hyper focus. It forces them to literally put out the most of their ability, the most of their gift, their blessing. All right, so if you have it, man, it's just a matter of shifting your life and aligning it with that. So for me, it was martial arts. It was putting myself in those high pressure situations. And once I shifted my life in that direction, I stopped doing a lot of the other things that I was doing. So I stopped wasting so much time on the computer, on my phone. Stopped wasting so much time listening to music, watching movies, playing video games. You know, I was only doing all this other stuff because it's how I grew up. You know, it's what I knew. It's what I was doing. But I'm telling you right now, once you know what you're working with, all right, once you know that you actually have a gift, and all it takes for you to access this gift is to shift your lifestyle, do it, man, in whatever way you have to do. All right. If you got to meditate, meditate. If you got to change the way you eat, change the way you eat. If you got to change your sleeping schedule, change your sleeping schedule. If you got to change your friends, change your friends. If you have to do whatever it is that you have to do it in order to access this gift, because if not, you're always going to be living at a suboptimal level. And that's pretty much it, man. I want to make this video because, like I said, I have ADD, I have ADHD, and I wish I would have known this a long time ago. All right, so this video is really just to help those that also have ADD, ADHD. And let me finish this video off by saying that I'm not trying to say that we're superior by any means. I'm just saying that we all have a gift, and it's just a matter of discovering that gift. All right, ADD, ADHD, people who have it, that is a gift. It is not a curse. It is a gift. Okay, understand that they only labeled it as a mental illness because they didn't understand what it was. Simple as that. All right, so whatever it is that you're going through, try to find what the gift is that you actually have in your life, and then shift your life to align with that gift, and then see what happens for yourself. All right, I might have been all over the place in today's video. It's my first time back. Actually, I got in surgery. I don't know if you guys can see this. I have this compression gun on my chest. I got these cysts removed from my chest. But anyways, I'm back. I'm back with you guys. It's good to be back. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment. Let me know your ideas on this. You know, play with it. Share with me whatever it is that you come across or whatever you find. Or maybe you have a certain mental illness that they say that you have, but in actuality it's a gift, and maybe you've found out what that gift is. And if you have, put in the comments, let me know what it is. I always love hearing about these things. I always love seeing people think outside the box and seeing people wake up to their true potential versus living to the limits that other people impose on them. All right. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, y'all, that the time is now.